This is Doofy McButterscotch, and we're back again for the movie reviews. And without any further ado, we left off on Batman and Robin, so what do I think of that one? Now, I'm sure if you've been on YouTube for a little bit, you have heard more than one opinion that Batman and Robin is a totally terrible movie. Now, I watched this one as a little kid, so I never watched it from an older person's perspective. So I've overheard that there's a lot of crappy puns in the whole movie. But you know, when I watched it as a kid, I thought it was pretty darn awesome, with Arnold as Mr. Freeze, and I didn't know Uma Thurman at the time, but I thought she was okay as Poison Ivy. And Bane was pretty cool at the time too, because he was like the big muscular bad guy with a cool mask. So, from a child's perspective, I thought it was pretty cool. But from a older person's perspective, I can't give you my opinion because I have not rewatched it. So, there you go. Spy Kids, we already did that. Three Kings. Now, it's another war movie, and as you know, I'm not that big of a fan of war movies, so this was really blah. It was about three Marines, I'm assuming, one of which being George Clooney, and another was let's see, Ice Cube and some other dude, and they were just trying to take bases. That's about it. Just Call of Duty, basically, but instead of it being fun, it sucks. That's all that can be said for that. The Peacemaker, another boring ass film. It's just another action thing. It's just some terrorist that's hard to understand who tries to blow up a building and he fails. Boring. This is a boring movie, and it has Nicole Kidman in it, so there you go. One Fine Day, it's got Michelle Pfeiffer. George Clooney is basically some asswipe who panders to every need of Michelle Pfeiffer, and eventually, after being her bitch for so long, he eventually wins her over. So that's One Fine Day. So if you're really into that lovey-dovey bullshit and a story that would never ever happen in real life, well, you should watch One Fine Day. Or if you're going on a date with a girl and you want to show her how sensitive you are, maybe you could watch this with her. I mean, as long as you don't really watch the movie and you kind of pretend you're watching it, but you look down at your phone and you're playing Angry Birds, you might be able to get through this. And every once in a while, when a funny scene comes up, you practice your artificial laugh and you throw that in. It might work. I mean, you know, whatever. The Thin Red Line. Holy fucking shit. Now, you know, if you've been watching the series, you have seen my review for, let's see, A Bridge Too Far. And I told you that was one of two of the worst war movies ever. This is the other one, The Thin Red Line. Holy crap! It's so horrible. It's one of the worst, most boring films I've ever watched in my life. I mean, it's so pointless. I mean, it's got a bazillion different cameos in it. I mean, for some reason, Hollywood thinks that if you put more movie stars in one movie, it's going to make it suck a little less. Well, here's a news flash for all those producers and directors who are on crack. More movie stars doesn't mean a recipe for success, because this is a piece of shit. The Thin Red Line is awful, and the A Bridge Too Far does the same thing. I mean, it's got a whole bunch of stars packed into one movie. Here's a newsflash. A lot of stars means a lot of personalities. And when you put George Clooney, John Travolta, and a whole shitload of other assholes in there, they're all going to have a conflict of personality. They're all going to want to do their own thing. They're all going to want their own trailer. They're all going to want to say certain lines. They're all want to wear a certain bit of clothing. I mean, if you put more jackasses on one movie, it's gonna fucking suck. I mean, very rarely does an ensemble cast ever produce a good movie. I mean, I've never watched Valentine's Day, but I can tell you right now, from my history of watching ensemble cast movies, I can predict that if I did watch it, I would give a review of fucking awful, just like this piece of shit. The Thin Red Line, let me just spoil this for you. There's nothing thin about it. You will never see a line in it, and it will not be red. There's no thin red line. I don't even fucking understand what the goddamn reference is. I don't see a thin red line. I don't know what a thin red line means, whether it's a war reference or whatever. I don't know. I genuinely think that they could not think of a good name for this movie. I mean, there's just nothing. I mean, you can't say what this movie is, because if you gave the correct title to this movie, it would be Giant Vietnam Shit. That is the proper name for the Thin Red Line. That is just a fucking hot mess, is what that is. It was so boring. I had to... Usually, if I watch a good movie, I'll knock it out in one day. One day is as long as it takes. But, you know, I'm a busy guy, and it takes me about 3 days to watch a film. But you know what? You want to know how long this fucking piece of shit took? I could only watch it in 10-minute segments. And you want to know how long the fucking movie was? 4 goddamn hours. So you add that up. I don't have time to do it now, but you just add that up, 10 minutes in the course of 4 hours. That took me fucking forever to get through this piece of shit film. I mean, it was so fucking awful. I am crapping on way too much about this. It does not deserve to get crapped on this much. So I'm gonna tell it to fuck you. Fuck you, Thin Red Line. You suck. You're awful, and I hope you die soon. I hope every single DVD with your footage gets burned and destroyed, so no one ever has to see your goddamn awful movie ever again, because you're a cunt and you're a piece of shit. So, fuck off. Anyway, out of sight. Damn. Boring. Don't even remember what it's about. Oh, brother, where art thou? Well, you know, it's boring too. Not the best. Anyway, that's enough. We'll do Sean Connery in the next vid. See ya.